Hey guys, let's continue with the interface of InDesign, and I want to show you some tools that I showed you already in class, something that you can use for the first assignment. First of all, on the left side we have the tools. Up here we have the options that actually reflect the tool that you have selected. For example, if I select the type tool, you can see that I can actually change the font size, the leading, the kerning, the space between the letters, the alignment, a lot of different things. If I select a rectangle tool, you can actually see that I can adjust the colors, for example. This means there is no color selected and it means fill. I can say I want to fill it with blue, and I can say I want the stroke to be yellow. Oh, cancel. I clicked on it again. So if I select this, you can see that the inside is blue and the outside is yellow. But the outside is not very large. If I make it larger, the stroke will appear. Okay, this is not very pretty. Right here we have many different fensters. You might have a few less of these fensters, but you can all find them underneath window. Let's go to pages. Right here you see the 4 pages that I set up. I asked you for your homework assignment to start working in page 2 and 3. So you can forget about 1 and 4. And for now you can forget about the master page. We will talk about that later. Okay. I will go to my page 1 because this is where I have set up my guides in the previous clip. I'm going to create a header with my type tool. And I will type, this is a header. I will select this text and I will increase it, make it larger, and make it, I want it to be spread over the entire width of my text box like this. I want the fill to be pink and I want the stroke to be green. Yeah, beautiful. Now I'm going to create a column filled with placeholder text. First of all, I created this column. Now I go to type and I go to fill with placeholder text. I can leave it like this, or I select it and I spread it over the width of my column. For now it's okay, but if you will use an article or some other text, it can happen that you get rivers in between your text, and that means that you have white spaces and it will look really ugly. But for now, this is fine. Now I want to show you how to import an image. You do that by going to File and then to Place. And then you select a particular image that you want to have in your document. Now you can just click on the paper and the image gets released 100% of the size. That might be something that you want. I actually want to be more in control, so I'm going to click and drag and the image will be released proportionally. Let's deselect everything by clicking next to the page, so everything is neutral now. What I can also do is I use this particular rectangle frame tool and I create a frame like this. I keep it selected, then I go to File, Place, and I select an image. And the image gets placed inside this particular box. That is very handy, but sometimes if you just want to place an image and you don't notice that you have something still selected by accident, then you get something like this, and that's not what you want. Yeah, see, there it is now, attached to my cursor. So make sure that if you just want to place an image, you have nothing selected, or on purpose you have a particular frame selected for your image. Remember that the image has 2 different selection tools. One is the black one, we have that one selected right now, and if I click on that image I can actually adjust the frame and nothing happens to the inside of the image, only to the frame. That means the piece that we can have a look at. Alright, If I now select my white selection tool, let's first neutralize, go to the white selection tool, I see this red frame, and that is actually the size of the image. I can move it a bit if I want to focus on one particular detail, or I can scale it up. Make sure that when you scale up an image, you do that by clicking on the corner, and you always hold down the Shift key when you scale it up. So you scale it up in proportion, because you will always see it when an image is out of proportion. Okay, well, I want to show you about text wrap. I'm going to delete this image and this frame. It's a bit in the way. Okay, I'm going to put this image on top of my text, and while I keep it selected, I go to text wrap. For me, it's on the right side of my screen, but for you, you can find it on the window and go to text wrap. Then this is what will appear. I'll click on the square shape, and I always have this one unlinked because I don't need text wrap on the right or the left side. I want to be able to individually influence these text wrap, the space around the image. I want more space on top and more to the bottom. Right now I go minus, and if you look at the image, you can see that there is a line appearing in my image. Now I allow the text to go more inside this image. That's not what I want, so this is sort of what I want. Okay. As you can see now, I have a red cross over here. That means that there's more text in my text box than we can actually see. If I click on this text, it's attached to my cursor. If I just click somewhere randomly, it will release it randomly, and you're not really in control of what happens to it. So don't do that. Just click somewhere and drag a square so you're in charge of where the text will be released. Remember that InDesign will follow the steps of where you placed your particular text boxes, so do that in a logical order. As you can see right now, I also need a text wrap on the right side of this image. So select the image, not the text, go back to text wrap, and put the text wrap a bit up on the right side, like this. Okay. Alright. I'm going to select a piece of this text, and I'm going to put it in a different font and a different font size, like this, for example. Alright, I'm going to show you how to package your document. First of all, you need to make sure that you saved it. So let's save it somewhere, save as example clip on my desktop, and go to File, Package. We can skip the summary. You can say something in the printing instructions, but for now we can skip it. It's more relevant at the end. And my folder is also called example clip folder on my desktop. That's fine. Package. Okay. This is okay. If I now go to my desktop, here's the example clip folder. It has my InDesign document in there. It has my document, the fonts in there, everything that I use in this particular document. And with links is mentioned all the images that I've used in my document. Always good to check this particular folder. Alright, these are the beginning steps that we start with this week. Next time I'll explain a little bit more about the master pages, page numbers, and grids.